All right, welcome to another League of Legends Momentum session. Today we're going to be doing a replay analysis, breaking down one of my games, and Warren's going to be giving critical advice and feedback, John Madden style, on how to make it better. So, Warren, over to you, man. We got something lined up.
Okay, so first I gotta get the screen share going here. Right, so that's there. So what you want to do here, the first thing you want to do, right, is you want to see before the game starts, before you buy items even, right? I know we're like at the tower here, but you want to see like how you would play the lane. You want to tell yourself how you would play the lane. Okay, so would you play it aggressively, like aggressive trading? Would you play it to play the wave? You just want to see what style you would play. And if you notice that in the game you're playing a different style than what you thought of, you note that down. Okay? So what style of play do you think you should be playing early game here?
Are you basing it on the matchup or my personality?
The matchup.
Well, Akali is melee and weak until level 6, so I should be more on the aggressive side.
Okay, so you should be forcing out trades, right? Now you have a notepad up, right? To take notes?
Yeah, I can load Notepad.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so what we're going to be focusing here is when you're watching the replay, don't try to focus on everything, every possible aspect. You want to pick a couple of aspects to focus on, right, and just target those immediate things. Here, you want to make sure that you decide on what style you're going to play and see exactly how you're going to play that style, if you match it, how you can fix it. What we're going to be focusing on, because you chose the aggressive style, right, is how you use the forced mechanics or the minion wave to play your aggression. Okay. So you already got your early game consistency here. You're
Banana Bush.
yeah getting into the banana bush and then warding the pixel bush. For people who have missed our previous episodes, the bush he's standing in currently is called the banana bush because before the new map was put in, the bush here was shaped like a banana. So
I was actually a little scared there because I knew they warded. I didn't know if they were in that bush or not.
okay, so here because of the ward where you place on the pixel bush, you can hug the. Whoops, have to do this. So you can hug. Oh, that's the wrong one. You can hug this area, right, and walk all the way up here. Okay?
Okay.
Because and what that does is it establishes vision here, and what that'll tell you is are like is your opponent leashing, or are they staying in lane? And if they're staying in lane, you know that the jungler is gonna have less HP, so you're less likely to be getting ganked early, right? Because Tryndamere doesn't have the greatest sustain in the jungle. So you're
Okay.
using this time to scout for this information. Because you laid that ward out down, you want to hug the side here, so you can, like, if they start walking up to you, you'll see them on the ward, right?
Yeah.
Now, you wouldn't see your opponent up here. Right? Usually Akali should be, like, up there anyways, like, in lane.
Okay.
She shouldn't be leashing. She's wasting time.
Okay.
But you, like, you go up there and you don't see here. Your job now, right, so take a note of this. Your job is to communicate where Akali comes from and tell your team that that's where the jungler most likely started.
Okay.
So say jungler started red.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah. You're doing the dance. So I saw him on my ward.
Hmm. Okay, so if you like because you saw him on the ward, you should have walked here immediately
Walk where?
to cut him off. Okay, because what he did here,
Yeah.
right, was he got the timer on your blue buff.
Okay.
Right? So because he got the timer on the blue buff, the opposing jungler now, right, can be here before it spawns while Rengar is like backed or something. So you gave him this information. If you went here to cut him off,
Okay.
right? If you went in this area to cut him off, the best ward he could have got was in this bush, and you would not have gained that advantage.
Let's just attack him.
Sorry?
Just attack him.
Just auto attack him because like he has no vision of what's going on here. So as soon as he sees you, he's thinking 5 people are gonna collapse on him.
Okay.
Right? So
Okay. Yeah, that's good. My bad.
no, it's perfectly fine. You didn't know. Now, when you're facing a melee opponent, okay? When you're facing a person you want to play high pressure, you actually don't push the wave. Right? There are 2 options that people take here. They either push the wave really hard to tower, so it makes it really hard for them to farm, right? Or they keep the wave pushing like either towards them or to like to a freeze, and they use their pressure, their range pressure, to zone them out. Now, the logic behind pushing all the time is if you're a play the wave type of person. The problem with that style, though, is if your opponent's picking like Akali or Kassadin or anything, they're expecting to lose, right? They're 1 to 5. They're not expecting to like do anything crazy with it, right? So, you pushing them to tower is what they're prepared for.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep the wave, like frozen here, like because I see like you got an auto attack here, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you keep the wave here, like pushing, either equally pushing or pushing towards you, every single time they go get a CS, they have to question you. They have to ask you. Okay?
Okay.
So, we'll see this. Oh, you missed one. So, every time, right, you are watching your replays in your notes, right, you should count the amount of minions you miss and write it down in the wave that you miss it. So here, right, under wave 1, you missed 1 melee creep. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just kind of tally it off, because you'd be surprised, but when you start actually like following like where you're missing creeps and stuff like that, you'll see like during the second wave you're always missing 2 creeps, right? So you could be like, during the second wave I have to make sure that I get these creeps, and if you target it wave by wave by wave by wave, it starts making your CSing better because you know where you're faulting, right?
Okay.
So here, the positioning, right, is you're on your caster wave,
Right.
right, and your opponent is on their caster wave. Now, the only dangers from Akali you have is her Q, right, because that's her ranged poke, right, and her caster minions, right? That's the only damage you're going to be taking.
Okay.
So, you can take this opportunity to stand in between your melee minions and your casters.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so here, you see your positioning here?
Yeah.
So look at it like this. You can see my screen, right?
Yep. Yep. I'm watching.
Okay. So now take Jayce and put your character right here.
Yeah.
Right? What options does your opponent have?
attack me, attack the minion, or be more defensive.
So if she takes the option to attack you, she'll take 3 auto attacks. Okay, so she can Q you for like 60 damage, and then she'll take 3 auto attacks because 1 on the way in, right? 1 during her Q, and 1 on the way out, right? And then if you're able to position properly during those, like if you keep kiting this way, right, you'll get a Q in, right? So that's half of her HP. So she doesn't have the she doesn't have the opportunity to Q you.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So because her level 1 is extremely weak, right? You could be standing like right here,
Okay.
right, and she wouldn't be able to do anything to you, right? She would she would have to be standing over here, and if she's standing over there, like you can completely zone her. The problem with that is Tryndamere can just come and level 2 gank you,
Right.
right? So taking this as a calculated risk, the safest place to be is in this region, anywhere in between, like this area.
Okay.
Right, it covers all your options, right? It denies all your opponent's options, and your opponent, like Tryndamere can't level 2 gank you off of that.
Okay.
So this isn't every matchup, okay? But this is only when you make the decision to play the lane aggressively.
Okay.
Okay, now because she doesn't have any skills besides like her E, but it's not as reliable to hit the minion wave and you, or hit through you, like similar to like an Ezreal ulti or a Ezreal W that can go through the minion wave and still hit you, or a Syndra Q.
Right.
She doesn't have that. You can stand more in this region, in this little box here. Okay? But when your opponent has a skill that can hit through creeps and will hit you, you'll be more on the side regions.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But in both of these like aspects, this is when you're playing aggressively. You want to be in the middle. Okay?
Okay.
So this creep, right? You had no answer to it.
What do you mean?
So basically, how you got to think about it is when you're playing aggressively, you should be playing to punish your opponent as hard as possible.
Right.
Okay? So in that situation, so the creep's just going down here. In this situation, now your positioning should have been here. Right? So your opponent, like, you know they're gonna go for this creep because of their positioning and because like of how easy it is for them, right? So that could have been simply a Q and an auto attack, which would have been this much health.
Okay.
Okay, so your Q and auto attack, right, would drop them. So they would be paying that much health to get a melee creep every single time. So if you can imagine, every single time they go for a melee creep, they're losing that much health, right? In an entire wave, you'll put them to that much just off of melees alone.
Okay. I tried to Q her on that last one, but I missed and hit a minion.
Okay. You need to value your auto attacks more than your skills, because if you're able to auto attack them, you're able to control them, right? If you're able to use a skill on them, you're just able to poke them, and that's what they'll watch out for, and they'll avoid your poke, and they'll end up winning the lane from that.
Okay.
Okay? So if you're able to auto attack them and they're not able to auto attack you, you have control of the lane. Okay? So
Right.
basically, the question you got to keep asking yourself, right, constantly throughout the game is, what am I afraid of? In this situation, right, you can walk up all the way here and be afraid of nothing.
Okay.
Right? So the longer you stay here, though, right, in this area, the longer you stay here, the more you have to be scared, because you have to respect your opponent's jungler. Okay?
Okay.
Now, this is all before the 2-minute mark, but every wave or every creep that's about to die, that they're about to get, you need to be thinking, what am I afraid of, and how am I going to punish them? Right? Auto Q auto is your punish for casters. right? It's not like you can get 2 autos or you can get auto Q and an auto, but you should always be getting those 2 autos off.
Okay.
Right? So 2 autos is roughly 100 damage depending on what you're doing. It should be like 110-ish. Right? So each of these bars here is 100 damage.
Okay.
So if you're just punishing on casters, you're taking 3 of those bars every wave. Right? So you're taking half of their HP. Now if you add a melee minion in there, right? You'll be able to, like, you should be able to kill her every single time a new wave comes.
Okay.
Right? That's the pressure you should be playing with here, right? And especially because they have a Tryndamere jungle, you have nothing to be afraid of. You have no CC, right, to be wary of. Tryndamere spins in, knock him away, right? And she has no gap closer, so as soon as he spins in to try to hit you, you knock him away. You can actually 1v2 by just kiting, because they have no gap closer. They have to flash onto you, right? So you can manhandle this lane. This is your lane, okay? So let me just look at your creeps here. So you're at 2, so you've missed 3 so far. No. 2. Okay, so for wave 1, but you missed 2 creeps.
Okay.
Okay. Let me know when you got that.
Yep.
Alright, so here, look at your positioning here, right? When the next wave comes in, what do? You reevaluate your positioning based on the style of play that you're going to be playing, right? So, remember when we talked about Face of Intent?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and this is just instinctual. People don't think about this. As soon as you took a step back, what did Akali do? She walked up.
Okay.
Like, we'll go, I'll show you this.
Yeah.
Just, let's see if I can go like seconds behind. No, that's not. Okay. Okay. Nope, that's ahead. This is really like, okay, that's, okay, play. So, you get the creep. So, as a pro player, like as a higher level player, these are the habits that I look for, right? I look for what your movement is after you get a creep. And your movement after you get a creep every single time is you'll take a step back.
Yeah.
Okay? So, if there's a pattern to it and I'm able to get onto it, right? I'll be like, you getting a creep, like if your habit is you step up after you get a creep to try to gain ground, I'll use that as a time to initiate onto you, right? Yeah. If you step back every single time, right, as soon as you're going for a creep, I'll use that time to gain ground. There's weaknesses and there's strengths to each type. What you got to do is you got to make the decision on what the creep means. Don't do it out of habit. Be like, this creep, right, means I can get more pressure in lane. This creep means I have to get rid of pressure. You have to sort of have a logic behind a thought. You have to think about it. Don't do it habitually. Because watch what you do.
Does Akali have 0 creeps right now?
You turn back. Yeah, she has 0 creeps.
Okay.
It looks like. Maybe a bug. But your back is turned. Yeah. And as soon as you turn your back, she starts stepping up.
Yeah.
You want an Akali, when you're laning against her, to be standing here permanently.
Okay.
And getting nothing. Because if she steps up for a creep, she's going to be taking a lot of damage.
Okay.
Right? The more she has to walk up, right, means the more hits you get opening to her. So basically there are 3 points where you can damage somebody. Right? There is the start of it, so right as it opens up, right, they're out of range, so they can be hit on the way in to get the creep. Right? And then you can hit them while they're getting the creep.
Okay.
And then you can hit them when they're leaving the creep.
Okay.
You get that?
Yeah.
So the further up you are is the further back they get pushed. Okay. Right? So this line gets back pushed up. Or gets more pushback. So the further they are back, it means the more you can do here, right? You can get a hit here, you can get a hit here, you can get a hit here, right? Which means it's harder for them to get creeps. You understand?
Yeah.
So staying far back here is a little bit too respectful.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Good. Oh. Okay. We need to go through that trade again. So she made the decision to get this creep here. So she took like 5 steps forward, and you just stayed in the same spot. So first, next time when you're in this situation, if they're walking forward like that, and you have lane advantage, you walk forward too, right? So your positioning should be here,
Okay.
right? If not here.
Okay.
Don't walk straight up into them. Okay, this is a mistake a lot of people do, right? They walk straight up. And if you walk straight up, that gives her the opportunity to go this way and to go this way to disengage. Okay? So she can go either way. But if you walk to the side, her only way to go is this way.
Okay.
Right? And if she does that, right, if she goes into this region, right, she has the opportunity to go all the way back here, and if she goes all the way back there, she loses lane control completely. But if she goes to this area, right, you have center control.
Okay.
She's pinned to this side. She can't cross over without going around like this. So all creeps that are on the right-hand side of the lane, right, will be high risk for her.
Okay.
Right, so you get like the thought process behind this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna put you here, right? We're gonna pretend that your character is here. All right. So before she gets this creep, she'll get autoed. Right. So she's taking about 60 damage here. Okay. So now she gets the creep, or she Qs you first. You see how you run back here?
Yeah.
She just Q'd you. What can she do to you now?
I don't know. Nothing.
Right? So, yeah, but look where she is.
Yeah.
Right? So, now in this situation, due to the positioning, you would be right here. Right? If she autos you, she's taking this,
Yeah.
this. Like, if she autos you, you can kill her.
Okay.
Like, in this situation, this is a situation where I would just go, like, auto Q, auto, hammer form,
Yeah.
right? And then Q her, and just keep autoing her, and she'll flash away.
Yeah.
Right? Because your Q has a slow on it, right? It's just like, she has to.
Yeah.
And then you can just, like, if she doesn't do that, you can just keep walking up and doing it. Like, you'll get her flash here. Right?
Okay.
There's no doubt in my mind. But the fact that you're running away it shows your inexperience.
Yeah.
Right? And it shows that you're not acknowledging the misplay here. So like if you're here, right, that's another auto and a Q. So we'll put her like HP bar down to about this much, okay? So now she steps back here.
Yeah.
Right? So that's another auto attack. Which you get. So her HP in this trade would be an additional 2 auto attacks and a Q, and that would put her to about right where my cursor is.
Right. Okay. So I won the trade, but not enough.
Sorry?
I won the trade, but not enough.
Yeah, and this is called min-maxing. And there are times where you're going to be doing the right thing, like you have the right idea, but you didn't execute it as efficiently as possible, and that's the difference of dominating your lane and just winning the early game.
Yeah.
You know, like if you were to do that, like the psychological pressure that you would apply to your opponent, where if you just dominated them for making a mistake, they would be afraid to make any more mistakes.
Right.
Right? This is a mistake where she could, because she has boots 4, right? She could just pop a potion and be like, I made a mistake, I gotta be wary of that. But if you punished her as hard as possible, that's a 2 potion mistake.
Right. She
Right?
didn't get that minion that she was going for. She's still at 0.
Yeah, well, that's a that's a bonus, I guess.
Level, Warren.
Not even close, right? You're getting your creeps. That's good.
Well, I'm
But
still
you have to start opening up.
Yeah.
Okay? So here, see how low this creep is?
Yeah.
Right? You gotta picture it like these creeps are your friends, okay?
Yeah.
So when your friends are getting weak, and you have the ability to protect them, right?
For your friends.
You gotta stick up for them, right? If you were standing right here, she wouldn't even be looking at that creep,
Yeah.
right? If she would have to choose, she would have to choose to walk up and Q it, right? But if she walks up and Q it, right, she'll take an auto Q auto, right? So she has to choose, at this point, she can sit at this HP safely, right? That's okay for her. But if she takes the auto Q auto, she's popping a potion, and the difficulty of facing Akali's, Katarinas, Kassadin's, even sometimes Fizzes, is that they start a lot of potions, right? So your goal is to make them, eat through their potions. You want to make them eat through, 2 potions a wave.
Right. What did she start with? Does it show on the replay?
Yeah, it's boost 4.
Boots and 4 potions. Wow, okay.
Right? So remember how I said a health potion effectively is an additional 150 health in lane, right?
Yeah.
So if she used it properly, she could do that. But there will be times where she's taking 300 damage to get a creep. And if she's taking 300 damage to get a creep, it's no longer 300 additional health, it's 1 creep.
Right. So
You get what I'm saying?
no damage item, so I'm even stronger than her.
Exactly. She has no survivability, right? She has movement speed, but she has no survivability in her starting items, right? And she has additional health over time. So this is your lane to control. If she's walking up, you walk up.
Yeah.
Okay? Now's the time, right? You should be taking into consideration that the jungler has crossed over. Okay? Now, Tryndamere has a slow clear time, but you don't know that. This is not something you see. Okay? So you should assume that he's around this area at 230.
Okay.
Right? So you want to start controlling this and getting control of this side so you can get your 252 ward.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Good. So, let's see what she does here. You walk back here.
Yeah, I do a lot of walking back. That's
Yeah.
a real tendency.
It is. And every movement, when you're getting to higher level play, every movement needs to have a purpose. Right? You don't do in anything that you take seriously, nothing you do is wasted. Right? You'll see pro players standing still in lane, right? And people think oh, they're just lazy or whatever. But the amount of pressure, right, you get, if they've already established lane pressure and they just start standing still, you don't know what to do. Right? They're not moving, so you have nothing to respond to. They're just standing still. You're being given the opportunity to start a play, but because they're so much stronger than you, you can't start a play, so you lose the lane.
Okay.
Right? So every action you do needs to have a reason. So here, from watching the replays, you recognize that you walk back a lot. So instead of thinking, don't walk back, start thinking, why am I going to walk back here?
Yeah.
Right? And if you don't have a reason, don't walk back.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're going to miss that creep. And, okay, you got that one. Okay, so.
What are we at? 5, still 5-0. So I'm sucking on my CS, but I'm still doing
So,
there.
you see your face of intent here? So after every creep, without fail, you walk back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is a habit you need to get out of. And your mindset here needs to be, after a creep, am I trying to dish out pressure or relieve pressure? Okay? So you have three options. Okay, there's you have the option of like hyper aggressing your pressure here, right? Just going in, so you get the creep and then you just start walking up, right? Your other option is to stay in line with where you are, right? To sustain the pressure that you're already giving to the lane, and then your other option is to move back, right? Which is to relieve pressure. The only times that you relieve pressure, right, is when they have a huge creep wave, right? They have the chance to gank you, or they are lane dominant on you.
Right.
So,
crazy.
yeah. So this is like the road less traveled by. You pretty much want to stay neutral or move forward every time, but you'll be using the neutral one the most, right? But moving forward is just to push them back. Like if they you have an overbearing wave here on them, right?
Yeah.
And it's not ideal for you to push Akali into her turret, but this has an advantage. She can't do anything to you. Like if you walk forward here and you just look for damage,
Yeah.
right? She can't reciprocate it, so she has to run back.
Okay.
So even though you don't want to be pushing her into her tower here, because of the style you did, because of how the lane is set up here, you can just walk up and auto her. You know.
Okay.
At most you're gonna take is a caster creep.
Okay.
So, and a Q. Make sense? Make sense? So, here, you see this creep?
Yeah.
What is this creep's value to you? Now that you know, right? What does she have to pay in order to get this creep?
At least an auto attack, but ideally auto Q auto.
Should be 2 auto attacks, even if you don't get your Q out.
Yeah.
So, because of this creep, the decision you should have made is, I want to apply pressure.
Right.
So you would move here.
And even now, I should be standing between the lines, right?
Yeah, well, you were standing here, like you were positioned correctly, right? You were standing like here, it was like just enough, like about here. But as soon as you got your creep, you move back here.
Okay.
Right? So if we take the like distance of like how much you made here and we sort of like equalize it, like if you moved here, that would have been optimal positioning, because in order for her to get this creep, she has to walk up.
Right.
Right? And that would have been like an auto on the way in, right? And then she's getting the creep, an auto, and then and then she steps back, and then a Q auto. So that would have been 3 autos and a Q.
She's gonna get her first creep.
Exactly. So, I tell you that auto Q auto is the value of a creep, of a caster creep, right? Of her trying to get a creep. That's like standard. Now you can apply this to melee minions if you position correctly and they don't have the answers.
Yeah.
You can get more auto attacks in if you're in position before she is, because you could start using the opening to get more autos in.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, and this isn't playing aggressively. Like a lot of people will think that this is playing aggressively. This isn't playing aggressively. This is playing the lane the way the lane is. The way the matchup is like mapped out.
Yeah.
Right. This is just standard play. You playing aggressively would be you like she's like trying to go for this creep. You would just like acceleration gate Q. Like you would do the auto Q auto thing, acceleration gate Q in, like use all your skills. Right, and that would put her to like this HP, right? But if you do that and then Tryndamere like pops out here,
yeah,
right, like you're in a bad position, right? And you're down your skills,
yeah,
right? So I'm teaching you the guaranteed way to get your damage in.
Yeah.
When you watch Bjergsen play, okay, Bjergsen, Pawn, Dade, they have such a good game sense on the jungler, like they know where junglers are, that they would actually play this aggressively. They would go in and be like, I know I'm not getting ganked based on my jungle sense.
Okay.
Right? So it's not wrong for you to like all in here, but her potion value is too high. Like if you all in here, all you're gonna do is get an additional potion, and it's not worth all inning. But if you played your level 1 better, and she had less potions, this is an opportunity to chug every resource of hers, and now she has to lane from level 2 till 6 without any potions, right? So she'll have to back with 1 CS under belt.
Yeah.
Right? So 0 right now, and she's probably going to get this one, right? So she'd have to back with the 1 CS under her belt. So if she has to back with that, right, she's going to come back with more potions.
Yeah.
Right? That's what she's going to do. So you can either burn her out again, or you can stop her from backing by keeping the lane frozen here. Right? Because if she backs, you push, she loses more creeps. If you keep it frozen, she can't CS because she has no potions. You put her in a lose-lose situation, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the easiest thing to remember is stay between the lines when it's against a melee champion.
Not against all of them. Okay, so Zed, for example.
Right.
Right. Zed, he has the ability to put a shadow down here. Right, and if he puts a shadow down here, right, like it has a radius where he can spin.
Right. Okay.
And do damage. Right. He can fire his shurikens. Right, and he can even like put himself on it, right, if he wants to.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so against Zed, where you want to be is you want to be on the sides.
Okay.
Okay, because if you're on the sides and he wants to put his like shadow down to kind of zone you, right, him like going to his shadow is a bad option because he has no backup from his minions and you will be backed up by yours.
Okay.
Right, so it's not a good idea for him to do that, and if he shurikens like at you, where you are, right, he's missing the creep wave, so he's losing lane control.
Okay.
So you're using your positioning to micromanage their options, right? Now, obviously, every matchup is unique. Akali, like her Q does peanut damage. Like, let's see how much damage her Q does. Her Q does 41 damage.
Okay.
Right. The reason her Q is good is because it places a mark, right? So if she autos you, it'll start doing more damage. But if she just Qs you, it's nothing. Like your health regen will take care of that. So you should have no fear. Kassadin does a bit more damage, so you have to be more acknowledging of that. Fizz has extended auto attack range, so he has like 175 or something like that. So he can auto attack creeps from further, but he can also auto attack you deceptively far. So you can't stay like really close up to him.
Okay.
Like, if you look at this creep right here, right, and you look at Akali's positioning, Fizz could auto attack you, even if it was like right here.
Okay.
Fizz could still auto attack you. So you want to be aware of every matchup. But in this specific matchup, no fear. You have nothing to fear here. So you get your creep, and pause button's broken. So 240. Okay, at 240 you have 7 creeps. Okay, so you've missed quite a few. I have to restart it. Just 2. I'm just restarting it because replays bug out.
I was looking at your. You wanted me to see how I was at 10 minutes, and I was at about 60 creeps on the last game that I looked at, and you wanted me to be at 90 or 100 or something. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was still ahead of my. It's for my elo. 60 isn't bad, but it's not.
It's not. It's not. But like okay, so about 24 creeps is the equivalent of a kill. Okay, so you have the opportunity to be hitting 90, right, or 100, right? So if you were to hit 100, you'd be effectively like almost 2 kills ahead, right, in items and gold of your opponent, right, or of yourself rather, right, of what you used to be. And if you're that far ahead, that means you can just have more pressure, right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So CS is super important. Like there's a challenger player, challenger last season. He played AP Ezreal, right? And AP Ezreal's laning phase isn't really the greatest. It's not a strong laning phase. But what he would do is he would just farm for 25 minutes,
Okay.
right? And his farm at 25 minutes would be about 270 to 280, and he'd be stronger than anyone off of farm.
Okay.
Ezreal doesn't really need to like be fighting all the time. He just needs to be like poking. So you get an AP Ezreal with that, and like he will burst people down easily.
Okay.
So like that's just to give you an idea that farming is like extremely important. The first step is to achieve your consistency in farming, right? The second step is to start doing the farming and playing aggressively, like taking advantage of your opponent's like weaknesses and things like that.
That 90 at 10 minutes is what level?
Sorry, it's like level. It could be anywhere from 8 to 10. You can
what level, like what rank kind of player?
High plat.
Okay, so
yeah, like plat players, like not to generalize, because there are some players at plat that CS well but don't have good mechanics. But generally, like the dynamic of the platinum elo is a bunch of players who have good character mechanics, right, and know how to fight people, but their laning mechanics aren't worked on enough. Like, you know how I'm telling you, like, you need to punish on casters, you need to, like, do it like this and stuff. They don't think about that, right? What they think about is, like, oh, they're out of position, I can do this, right? They're not thinking about it in terms of laning mechanics, they're just seeing opportunities.
Right, okay.
So, yeah. Okay, so 240.
I don't see. Yeah.
Oh, right. Are we good?
Yep.
Okay, so just getting back to where we were. So at wave 2, right, you're at 7 creeps.
Yeah.
Right, which means you missed 5 total.
Okay.
Right, so you missed 3 in the second wave. Right, so you note that down. During the second wave, right, you're missing 3 creeps. Right, so like, and like this will give you an idea, because like you'll see patterns. You'll be like, I missed 3 creeps or 2 creeps all the time in the second wave. In the first wave, it's just totally my focus. Like, sometimes I get all of them, sometimes I don't get any of them. Right, so but when you start seeing patterns, you fix those ones, and then your CS count will get a lot higher.
Yeah. So now I'm back. Yeah, like
I'm here, right?
Disrespecting the jungler, I guess. I'm worried.
Yeah, but what are you supposed to do here?
I don't know. You tell me.
Remember the 252 ward?
Oh.
Right? Look at the time.
Yeah.
Right? So instead of respecting here, right, you used about 2 seconds to move back here, right? But that 2 seconds could have been used to move over here, right, to get the ward and then walk up.
Okay.
Right? And if you do that, right, you use time efficiently. This time here wasn't efficiently used, and now the time you're going to use to get the ward is less time you can use to pressure the lane.
Yeah, I didn't ward at all. I didn't do the ward. I didn't remember the ward.
Okay, so
now I'm in like no man's zone.
Yeah. So here, like, if you're standing here, right, a thing with Jayce is like, because she's making a mistake right now, right, and you need to acknowledge that. So the thing with Jayce.
Okay.
Oh, whoops, that's not right. Okay, there we go. The thing with Jayce is he has some of the highest Fog of War pressure out of any mid laner because of the range of his Shock Blast. Okay? So the mistake that she made is she is standing here. If you walked into Fog of War here, like you did, right, and then crept around, right, and walked here, right, lay your gate down here and fire your Shock Blast,
yeah,
damage.
I could hit her. Okay.
Right? So you now like took like a mistake in quotation marks that you made by not like warding or whatever, but you took an opportunity out of it.
Right.
Right? And you're still maintaining pressure in lane. You cannot give your opponents breathing room. Like, even if you're in an unfavorable matchup, right? You could be like in the worst matchup possible, especially because of the level that you're playing at, right? You should be playing at a level where if they make a mistake, they lose the lane.
Okay.
Okay, so that was a shock blast here. Now, looking at Akali's like potion situation, she's still at 4. Right? Like that's really high for 3 minutes in the game. She should be at 1. Nice shock blast.
Hey, I was channeling Warren. I was channeling Warren just a little bit late.
It's like you heard me in this game. Heard me in the future, like shock blast here. I feel like Professor Oak in the Pokemon games. Okay, so this ward here is incredibly inefficient.
Okay.
You know why?
Why?
Okay, so your opponent started here. You know that because of how Akali, like where Akali came from.
Right.
Right? So they're going to be on this side of the map. Right? They have 2 options. They could be back to base because they were low HP, right? Or they're going to be on this side of the map. But even if like they back to base, they're going to go to this side of the map after. You understand?
Yeah.
So this ward needs to be put on this side. Right? You could place it in many places. You could place it if you don't have a lot of time to get out of lane, right? You place it here. Right? If you have enough time, you can place it here, or you can place it up here.
Okay.
Okay? If you want to go a little bit deeper but still don't have enough time, you can place it right here.
Okay.
Okay? Because basically, like, placing the ward here, it'll catch vision of them, like, walking up to this area, right? And it'll catch if they're trying to, like, go this way. Okay? So
this is just my trinket because I haven't backed yet.
You don't need to back right now. This is only like 2 minutes in. Like, I know we've been breaking it down like a lot, but this is only like 3 minutes in, right?
Yeah.
So, like at this point in time, you should be at 13 CS ish, right? Or like 11 if we're being generous. And if you were at 11 CS, you'd be leading the game and you'd be beating your opponent by an insane amount. Right? So, and it only gets bigger from there.
Yeah.
Because your opponent, because you, first of all, like, Jayce hard counters Akali. Like, even if she hits level 6, right, you basically, like, the way you beat Akali's, and this is for everyone, right, don't knock her back on her first dash in. Okay? What you do is you lay your acceleration gate down on yourself, right? And you hit your W and you just auto attack her fast, but you move back. Because you have movement speed, she'll be forced to dash again. Okay? Then, right, you can or you can knock her back, right? And then, or you can, like, because you ran back, you can shock blast her, right? So you can fire your shock blast through it, and then you can knock her back. Right? Now she's forced to either use her third dash, like commit everything into you, but because you're a character that does more damage than her, she'll die. If you knock her back on the first one, she'll win though. Because she could dash out with her third one.
Okay.
So, yeah, you need to be playing with a little bit more pressure here. Now here, whenever people waste this, right? So you remember how I was telling you, like, everything needs to have a purpose?
Yeah, it's a big waste.
Right? Yeah. If you see, like, at this point, and this is just me, but at this point, I would totally disrespect the jungler now. Right? Because if the jungler comes, it's always going to be a 1v1 against the jungler. Like, Akali's not going to do anything. Right? So you can just, like, knock the jungler back and walk away. So I would be standing right here as soon as she did that. Because, oh wow. Just right here. I know that the jungler's on this side, right? Like anywhere from, like, that's where they're gonna come, right? The worst possible angle they could come from is behind you, but if they do that, right, you just use your acceleration gate and you walk this way, right? But if or walk this way, and nobody can stop you. Make sense?
Yeah.
She used, like, this is her disengage. Like, this is what stops you from doing damage. If she lays it down, you stand here, she can't do anything. And then if she moves back, where do you think you should move?
Forward.
Okay, so there's like a line here. It's like the turret aggro kind of thing. You can't move past this.
Right.
Right? So, and like, this is like a relative distance. So, moving forward is not bad. But what control do you want to achieve? Like, do you want to get? What control did I say is the most important?
Wave control.
That's part of it.
Minion control.
It's center control.
Center of control.
Yeah, so you want to control the center of the lane. Right? So she moves back, right? She's conceded center control. So you move here. Right? Center control means that you control this tank creep.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So, basically, like, you move to a side, right, to cut her options off, right? Her options are to go up here, right, and to go back here, right? Either way she goes, she gives you center control. Make sense? If she goes to the side, she can't do anything. She has to, like, walk this way.
Right, okay.
Right? So her best option is to move back. Okay. This is just like, if you think of this as like a turn-based strategy game, right? That's what your movement is, right? It's like, I move here, so it forces them to move here, right? Because they get forced to move here, I win. You know, because I made the right decision.
Okay.
You got to start making these right decisions, okay?
Check. Make more right decisions.
So here. You auto-attack that creep 3 times. So could you tell me right now why you did that?
I don't know.
No, could you just think of something? Like a reason, a logic.
Pushing the wave forward into her tower.
Okay, so what was the reasoning behind that?
We're getting pretty close and she'll miss minions.
Okay, so this creep is still up. There are 4 creeps here, and there are 3 creeps here. Which means damage-wise, her wave is pushing. Right? So if you do what you're doing, right, and stay here, this lane will naturally push out, and then you could freeze it mid again. But the difference is, as soon as it freezes mid, you'll be standing here. So you gain full control. You don't have to auto-attack the creeps at all. She can't do anything. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of lack of thought going into your laning right now. If you're pushing the wave, like, if you were to 3 auto-attack this creep, you need to fully commit to that decision and queue these creeps. Okay, because like if your decision was to fully push, like this is an option, right? But you want to get the freeze up really quickly, right? You want to like EQ the wave here, possibly hit her. That would be really cool, right? And auto attack this creep down, right? And then it would have hard push. These creeps would have gone under tower, made it difficult for her to CS, and then a freeze would have happened mid, and then the same situation would have happened, right? The difference is that would happen in a faster time frame, and there would be more time of nothing happening in the lane. So it creates a sense of relief and pressure on the opponent. But the way I was saying is more like prolonged, but your opponent is constantly under pressure.
Yeah, honestly, I think why I attacked it was I wanted to do something. Like I'm sitting there, nothing's happening, the wave's pushed, I can't back. So I just wanted to do something, so I attacked.
Yeah, and like that's like people do that in platinum. Like people again, like it's not a reflection of like your it's not a reflection of skill level. It's a reflection of how focused you are. Right? So if you want to start doing things, right, change that reaction to like auto attacking the creep to auto attacking the opponent. Right? Like looking for opening.
Yeah, okay.
So reharness that. Oh, I like this. I like that. That was good. But again, you walk back, right? So because you walk back, she'll get this creep.
Yeah, okay.
So oh my goodness. She should be dead here. Like, if you were to now this is like what a Bjergsen would do, or a Dade, or a Pawn.
Okay.
You don't have to recognize this, but like your opponent made a huge mistake here. She used her escape, right, to aggress onto you when she has absolutely no advantage. So when she does that, right, as soon as she appears, right, you would Q. You remember the Q hammer form combo?
Okay.
Right. So like you would use your Q in range form, right, and then you would use your burst combo.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like just your trade, because she gave you the distance. That would be this much health on her. Okay.
So it's you mean Q ranged and then R and then Q and then E?
Q auto E, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Like you could do that. Now that's like what the average mid laner would do. Now the person who's fully confident in Jayce.
I'm below average.
Yeah, but everyone, like I'm a below average Jayce player, right? And I'm a diamond player. It's just like this is something that like not a lot of Jayces can do. Like even if they're like there are pro players that won't do this, like professional players that won't do this, right? But this is somebody who's like so proficient on Jayce, right, that they're confident in the mechanics because it has a lot of risk, but this is a kill. Okay, so you would start off with your Q, or even an empowered Q with your acceleration gate, right? Either or, but that it would be like shoot out as soon as she appears, right? And then you use your Q to gap close, right? And then you'd flash here, right? And you knock her back into your minion wave here.
Okay.
Right? And because of that, right? No options. She's done. She's slowed from your Q, right? So if she tries to run this way, she's too slowed. Her best option is to flash back into her shroud, right? Where all you have to do is just stand here, like stand in this radius. Because wherever she goes, you'll cover.
Right. Some intense Jayce mechanics there.
Yeah. That's like you lay down your ignite, right, and you do everything, and you get a kill. If not, you get her summoners, right, and you get her out of lane, and you know stuff like that. But she gave you an opportunity to take her, like at least drop her down to a third of her health bar, and you have to take these. Now, look at your potions, right?
Yeah, I haven't used any.
So at this point, at level 3, you want to start forcing yourself to use your potions. Right? Because you don't want to back with potions in your inventory. Right? Now, a lot of people will disagree with this, but you don't want to back with potions in your inventory. If you're buying potions, potions are meant to sustain you through the laning phase. Like you buy them to plan to stay in the lane for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
Right? And if you buy them and you get to lane, like if you backed with these 3 potions in your inventory, you going longsword 3 potions was an inefficient buy, and you should have bought Doran's Blade 1 potion.
Right.
Right? So it's a sign that you've planned wrong. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here, right, you want to be like, well, I want to back soon, right? So like, let's see how much gold you have here. Because you want to be backing. Yeah, so you want to be back when you have about 720 gold, right? So you're almost there, right? Including these creeps. So because you want to get your tier early, so you want to start using your potions now. So just like she does stuff like this, just all in her, right? Not with ignite, but just use your burst combo, right? And like the advantage, and this is something I didn't tell you before, but when you're facing a melee person, right, you can use all your mana in range form and then go hammer form and just use that to last hit. because you're both melee now, right?
Right, okay.
So when you're in hammer form and you're using that to last hit, you're getting your mana back. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay, so use your potions, like plan to use your potions, right? And like make sure that your last potion gets used just before you're backing. That's how you want to plan it. But here, this should have been like an opening, but she got a Q, like it was pretty much unanswered, and you ran away. You respected it too much.
Yeah, okay. Too much respect for the enemy.
Yeah. It's good to respect your opponents, but you're giving them more respect than they deserve.
Yeah, she was throwing down that shroud a lot.
Yeah, basically what Akalis have to do early to get CS, right, is they have to throw their shroud down, walk up, auto attack the CS, right, and they'll take one auto instead of two, right? Good Akali players will do that for tank creeps, right? And like that's valuable. Like I will trade my escape and my pressure to get a tank creep.
Right, sure.
That's valuable. What she's just like, she saw somebody like just laying shroud down to CS, and she's like, yeah, I got to do that now. But there's no thought process behind like when she's doing it.
Right.
So here, you see how you're pushing here, right?
Yeah.
What you want here, ideally, what you want is you want to get the creeps equalized. Okay. Right now it's pushing into you. Now, if it pushes here, she'll back to base. Right? If you keep it frozen there, she'll back to base. But if you keep it frozen here, she's forced to stay in lane, because if she backs, you'll push the tower and she'll miss 1.5 waves.
Right.
Right? So, so she has to get experience. Akali, your 1 to 6 is not about getting creeps. Right, you get all the creeps you can, but you'll get zoned off of most of them. Right, your job is to get all the experience possible, so you can hit 6 as fast as possible. So she has to stay in lane, and if you give her the opportunity to back to base to accelerate her CSing, right, by getting pushed on here, you can't, like, she'll have an advantage. So you have to keep it in the middle of the lane, so if she backs, she'll give up a lot of experience.
Okay.
Right, your objective here is to deny her experience, okay? Deny her CS as well, but that's just like the lane design. That's just like how the lane's supposed to go. Okay, so where should he be positioned here? Where do you think?
A little more forward and a little on the side.
Good. There's that habit again. Like that habit denied yourself a creep.
Yeah.
There was a creep right here that you could have got, and that denied yourself a creep. So like you need to recognize that moving back pulls you further away from the next creep, right? So enter into your thought process, what creep am I going to get next? And if it's going to die really quickly, am I going to use a skill or am I going to auto attack it?
Right.
And then after that is like, where am I going to move to apply pressure on the opponents and to secure creeps? And just keep going like that. Keep chaining your thoughts like that. That way you have more control over your movement. So here, like, because you know this creep, like, is taking these 3, this creep is going to, like, get to the 1 hit, right? You're moving up, which is really good. Now she's moving up. What does this tell you?
She wants to kill the creep.
Right? So what are you going to do?
I'm going to probably do an auto attack and run away.
But what do you... No, now what are you going to do?
I'm going to stand my ground and attack her.
Exactly. Like, because you're at the point, like, you're at the 4-minute stage where you should be, like, using your potions kind of thing, right? Like, she goes for this creep, just, like, and her shroud's down, just use your burst combo on her.
Yeah.
Just start getting, like, all in her face.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if this is how the lane was going to go and you knew this is how the lane was going to go, you could have went longsword, 2 health potions, and a mana potion.
Yeah.
And every time she goes in for a creep, just start using your mana on her.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have something that a lot of players have. And I'm just gonna bring it to you, like bring it up to you so you can recognize it.
Okay.
Whenever players move past their creep line, like the creeps that they're trying to CS, they totally ignore what's behind them. Right? They sort of like subliminally think that everything that's behind them is their creep. Right? But your auto attack should have gone here, and your skill should have gone here to that creep to secure it. So you need to be like aware of where creeps are dying.
Okay.
It's like wave 5, right? Wave 5, you're at 21, right? 5 waves.
Leading the game. Leading the game.
Sorry?
Leading the game.
You are leading the game, yeah.
I'm not CSing very well, but well.
No. Honestly, like this is good CSing. This isn't bad CSing in the least. But when you're watching your replays, it's not about how good you're doing. It's about min-maxing. It's about modifying your play to be better. Yeah. Right? There are people who are at 32 CS at this point in the game. Right? Yeah. And you can't use the excuse, well, I'm a silver player, well, I'm a bronze player, because you're supposed to be like, if they could do it, I have the opportunity to figure out why I'm not doing it.
Yep.
So, and then, like, just you, like, figuring out why you're not doing it will increase this CS count to 27. It won't be 32, but it'll be better. Yep. Right? So, you want to get yourself in that mindset here. You're CSing well. You're like, your CSing isn't poor in the least. But, so, what would you change about this situation? Tell me.
Don't run.
But, like, as soon as she lays her shroud down, what's your reaction?
Wait for her to show up and then...
No, just walk up.
Oh.
Like, don't even wait for her to show up, because her options, so if you think about it, right? She's coming out of stealth, right? Her options are to Q you, right? But she has no other option. So she could Q you, even get an auto attack. But what do you do in response to that?
Huge combo.
You'll Q auto or auto Q auto, and then if she like tries to do anything after that, right, you just burst her.
She gets wrecked.
Yeah, like she has no options against you, so don't give her any. Like if she uses one of her options, because like if you were just to open up on her, she could stealth and take out your damage, right? Because like she'd be stealth and she'd just have the opportunity to walk away. But she gives you that option, right? You punish her. Okay. If you did this, because she did this a good like 5 or 6 times, right?
Yeah.
If you punished her 3 times for that, she wouldn't be doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the... Okay, so you gave her that tank creep. So is there a reason you're so far back here?
I backed when she shrouded, and that was pretty much it.
Okay, so I can understand because like her minion wave was bigger, so it kind of like exuded more pressure. But you have the opportunity to just like do what you did, shock blast it, auto attack it down. Like she can't answer that. So if you need to thin out the wave, like it's an actual term, just thin out the wave. Like don't focus on trading.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah. You gave her a tank creep.
Yeah.
So you have to like the tank creep is basically like caster trade is automatic. Like if you could do it, do it. But tank creep is where you want to start using your potions. Like you want to be like, I'm all in you if you take this tank creep, and I'll take a bad trade here, right, to deny you the tank creep, and I'll use a potion on it. You know, like that's good logic.
Okay. Yeah, I guess the tank creep is worth more than a potion, right?
It's worth. Yeah, it's like. It's worth. It has like 2.5 times or like 2.3 times the value of a regular creep.
Yeah, well, there were
So
41 for the tank creep, and a potion is 35, so.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I also didn't. This is the first time I've gone up against Akali, so I didn't
Mhm.
know that she's pretty weak. Like her abilities, I don't know what she can do.
But again, like we had in our previous conversation, when you're going into your games, you want to go to Law Wiki and you want to open up Akali's page,
Yeah,
get an understanding.
yeah,
Now, what some players do, and I think is very ineffective, is they just start to study all the characters at once, right? They just like they start off at like RE or Akali, whoever's first, and they just learn every character. That's actually what a lot of pro teams do. It's just like the coaches say, this is what the players do, this is what the characters do, this is what the scalings do, this is how they play the lane, all that stuff, and they go through every single character. But for a player like yourself who's practicing at home, just learn the matchups as they come. So you're playing a game and you're facing an Akali, open up the LoL wiki page and figure out the Akali.
okay.
Right? Figure out how Akali plays and stuff like that. Learn it, and then use that match, like you're recording the match, to refine what you've theory crafted. That way, you're learning with experience. You're not just studying.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
So go into hammer form.
Yeah, yeah, I did a bad job on the CS in there.
Mm-hmm.
If I
But
miss, if I miss like two creeps in a row, I'll usually
miss the
adjust.
third one.
No, I'll usually like, oh, I'm not doing this well. I'll usually get back to focusing.
Yeah, I have that problem too. If I miss one creep, I'll miss the second one all the time. So it's because I've mistimed it, right? That's why I missed the creeps. Now you're respecting your opponent too much. You missed 4 creeps there,
Yeah,
right? Because you were afraid of her shroud.
yeah.
She only has pressure on you when she's level 6,
Okay, it's good
right?
to know.
Acknowledge that.
Good to know. I mean, I've been used to going up against Heimerdingers and Vladimir, no, and Victors and like guys with insane pressure.
Yeah.
So it was a different flavor going up against somebody who sucks at the beginning.
So here you should be taking your back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 40 to 16.
hmm Now a lot of people they want to back under tower here, right? You should try to back here.
Okay, save some time.
Because yeah, it saves a couple of seconds, but also if something happens mid where you have to re-push out the wave or whatever, you're
Right,
in better proximity to do so.
right, okay. So what did I buy? Tier, boots, pink ward, green ward.
Okay, so
What did you
you
practice?
see these boots here,
Yeah.
right? Take that out of your buy. Take um take the pink ward out because it's not majorly necessary in a ranked teams game, right? If you were with all 5 people, I would say yeah, the pink ward's good. But in solo queue, you want to invest in your lane dominance,
Oh,
right?
well,
So
I want to play every game like it's a ranked game. Get used
I
to
mean,
it.
no, sorry, not a ranked solo queue.
Yeah.
You still want to invest in lane dominance. Ranked fives is like your ranked team,
Oh,
right? It's like you have a team, you have a strategy, you have all that. You want to get your vision out because that's more organized play. But in solo queue, it's still a bunch of people. So that's another habit you have. When somebody goes on you, you
yeah.
don't fight them,
Yeah.
right? You just avoid it.
Yeah.
So what you need to do here, I'm gonna break this down into frame by frame on what should have happened, right? And this is just Akali specific, okay? But this is basically you trying to learn how to use your Jayce mechanics. So as soon as that happens, okay,
Yeah.
right? You pop your W,
Which W? Oh.
your hypercharge,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you auto, and like you auto, and then you.
Yeah, I mean, she's in on me with all my minions around her too, right?
Exactly. But where do you move, right? Like, where do you think you would move, right, in between each auto? Because you got to do auto move, auto move, auto move, right?
Towards the tower.
Right? Yeah, but like you can move this way, you can move this way, and you can move this way, right? Those are your like three major options,
Okay.
right? Like you can move this way, but that's not effective. You can move
Yeah.
this way, and that's not effective. So you know that you want to move towards the tower, but where would you move? Where's the most optimal place to move, right? And in order to make this decision, it's where what disengages the pressure enough and puts your opponent out of position. Okay? So anywhere in this vector, in this like area, is a good direction to move. Okay? Because what you would do is you pop your W. Right now, the reason she went in is because you EQ'd. Like that's just a standard mistake. You should never lay down your EQ when Akali's level 6 because you need it. Because if you placed your hypercharge on yourself, right, or and your movement speed, she'd be forced to use a second dash on you.
Okay.
Okay, but for now, you just W and you auto attack and you walk this way. Okay.
Yeah.
Now if she dashes on you again, right, you'll be here, and she'll be here. You flash here, right? Well, you change it to your hammer form here,
Yeah.
right? And then you flash, and then you hit her into your tower, and you just stand in this radius.
Right. Okay.
Right.
This will take some practice, but yes, I get the concept.
Yeah, and again, like we're just like min-maxing and going like for perfections here, but all you did was just you walked this way, which was not optimal, right? And you took the damage, right? You just wanted to like not die there, but you actually had the opportunity to get a kill because she like if she's a good player, she can't go past here. If she goes anywhere past there, right, she'll die. But if she's like goes here and starts moving back, you can start hitting her in the butt.
Yeah, and she's taking minion damage too.
Yeah, so like she gave you a position of power, and you're just
Yeah. She's made mistakes everywhere here, and I didn't capitalize.
But in reality, was it really a mistake if she won out of it, right? If she got something out of it? So like you gotta think about it like that.
Yeah, I could have made her pay for it.
Yeah, because remember how I told you before, like confuse people with crazy, right? That's what she did to you. I don't know if it was intentional, but there, like that should have been hammer into the tower. Yeah. Usually, what I do in the first replay analysis is go through the first 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Just so you have a place to start.
That's the most important part of my game, to be honest.
And the way, like, you got to start switching your mindset, like, one way to actually is to stop thinking of the first 8 minutes as the early game.
Okay.
Start thinking about it as wave by wave.
Okay.
Okay? At each wave, right, you should be having a degree of punish game in there, a degree of CSing in there, like playing the wave, and a degree of ward control. Right? So warding, like jungle control, jungle manipulation, and things like that. Every single wave should contribute to those 4 factors. Right? Yeah. And if you're lacking on those factors in each wave, this is why I tell you to like keep track of each wave, where you're losing your CS and stuff like that. You can start patching yourself each wave, and then you'll have a really tight early game.
Okay.
Okay. What are we at right now?
I don't think of it as early game anymore, though, Warren. It's wave by wave.
Right? Okay, you're patching your wave by wave. Good. You're starting. Good. What are we at here? How long has it been? Are we going over?
Yeah, we're over, I think. Yeah. Okay.
We'll stop it there, but next next time what we'll do is we'll do another replay analysis going over stuff like this, but you will be telling me what you should be doing, right? And I want to see your progress on your self-analysis.
Okay, I can do that.
All right, so good to go?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, everyone.